Hello there guys, I'm Unstable Voltage and welcome to a brand new series of Civilization 6. Just before I start, I would like to very quickly thank William Luke for sponsoring this video with his generous donation on Patreon. It really is people like William who allow me to continue working on this channel, and that is something that I am really thankful and appreciative of. So thank you so much for that, William. So, since the last game of Civilization 6 that I did on the channel, which was the Indian game going for the religious victory, the fall 2016 patch has come out for Civilization 6. If you want some more information on what is available in the patch, I did do a video of that a few days ago, where I basically go through some of the more important points within the patch notes and give my opinions on them. There will be a few key things that I will point out in the game as we go through. One thing they have added, finally, in the game options, under Interface, you can now enable and disable automatic unit cycling from the options menu. No longer do you have to go in and mess around with a ini file, which is fantastic. So, as I said, we're going to be starting a new game. And what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be playing on King again. I know the last game was King and I won it quite easily, but the patch is supposed to change the AI and make them better towards the later game. They're supposed to be more competitive, going for cultural and scientific victories, and they're also supposed to build bigger armies and upgrade their units more. So we'll stick with King for the time being. If we still manage to breeze through this, then the next game will probably go back up to Emperor. Going to stick with the standard game speed. We want to use the standard map size. They've added another couple of map types in the patch, the 4-leaf clover and the 6-armed snowflake. Obviously, they're designed for 4 and 6 players. I'm going to go for fractal. I like the fractal maps because they're often more interesting and more random. True, sometimes they can screw you over, but generally I find them a little bit less dull than the standard Pangaea or continents. Now, what I'd like to try and do this time around is go for a cultural victory, and you'll notice this menu's changed as well a little bit. I think I'm going to go in and play as China. I did play China a little bit on one of my streams, never actually managed to finish that game, but I actually quite like China. First of all, they get the ability to use builders' charges to add 15% of the production towards a wonder of the original cost. So their builders also have an extra charge. So if you get a builder with 4 charges and you can use each charge to complete 15% of an original wonder cost, you can build 60% of a wonder with 1 builder, which is really nice. They've also got the dynastic cycle, which means that their Eureka boosts and inspirations give a 60% boost instead of 50. They've got a unique unit, which is the Crouching Tiger. Now, that replaces the crossbow. The downside is it only has a range of 1, where a crossbow has a range of 2, but it does have a stronger ranged combat strength. And then finally, they have the Great Wall, which is a unique tile improvement. So unlike in Civilization 5, where the Great Wall was a wonder that anyone could build, in Civilization 6, it is a unique tile improvement to China. And basically, when you get a builder to build a section of the wall, it can only be built on tiles that are on your border. And basically, each section of the wall acts like a fort. So you get a defensive bonus if you are if you have units on it. But it also gives bonus gold if it's adjacent to another segment. And then later on in the game, you actually get culture and tourism through it. So certainly useful for a cultural victory. So we're going to be going in as China for this game. Let us start.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. In your people lies your greatest strength, Emperor Qin Shi Huang. From all over the world, others will come to gaze upon the great walls and towering wonders of your united China. May the hands of your men never blister, as they work hard and fast to raise the most impressive structures that the world will ever know. Protect them well, and you will forever be immortalized.
So, for those of you who play Civilization 6, you will no doubt know how annoying this phrase is up here from the first stirrings of life beneath water, because every single time you load the game, it reads this out. And I obviously cut it out on the videos, with the exception of the first video of the series where I start the new game. But they've actually changed this now, so what happens is if you load a game and you are in a different era, obviously we're starting in the ancient era, But if you load the game in and you're in a different era, this entire paragraph changes, and obviously it's narrated by Sean Bean still. So they've recorded one for each individual era, and it changes every time you progress. So that is nice. But anyway, let us get cracking. So here we are on our fractal map. We have truffles. So we've only got one luxury nearby that we can see. We've got a couple of mountains which can be useful. We've got some stone and some cattle. We've got bananas, so we've got food in production. We're on fresh water. Looks like we've got coastal over here to the east. Let's get up on this hill and see what we can see. We've got some cotton nearby as well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They're both in range. I'm happy with that. So I think we're going to go and settle our first city here. Now, another thing that they've actually changed, if you go into your city details, you can now edit the name of your cities. Fantastic that they've finally added that in. We're going to keep our capital with its original name, but any new cities that we get will probably be renaming after Patreon subscribers. This city, we want it to concentrate on, well, we want it to concentrate on food and production, but ideally we want it to build up quite quickly. 7 turns till growth versus 5 turns till growth. But we do want the production, I think. So I think we go here for now, because that will give us the gold as well. We also want to try and get those truffles improved as quickly as we can. So let's choose a production, as usual. Start with a scout. Always worth getting one of those out nice and early. We're going to want mining. We're going to want animal husbandry. Let us go and start with the mining. We can get the 2 stone very, very quickly. And on to turn 2 already. So we've got a fair bit of defensive land around our capital. We've got some mountains. We've got a lot of woods here. Got a little tiny bit of jungle as well. Thought that was coastal. It's not. It's just fresh water. So we've got a little bit of a lake. So I'm seeing some potential for some good wonders to come. And I remember when we played China on the stream, we actually got quite a lot of wonders. Now, obviously, we were playing on Prince difficulty then, not King. But that should be quite interesting. Just trying to uncover as much of the map as I can. These hills aren't really helping. More truffles over there. Obviously, I don't want to stray too far away with my units, just in case we end up getting attacked by barbarians. We found our first goody hut. We won't be able to get it on this turn, unfortunately, but let's move over to there. We want to go there on the next turn. What will we get? Move them manually anyway. We get ourselves a boost to archery. Well, that's nice. I mean, that's an easy enough boost to get anyway. You just have to kill a barbarian with a slinger, so a little bit of a waste of a goody hut, in my opinion. We'll keep having a look around, though. Now we've got to wade through the march.
Don't think of CO2 as a poison. Plants and organisms that make shells, coral. Think of it as a building block.
Right, we've actually started relatively close to a natural wonder, and it's the barrier reef. It is workable. We could certainly start a second city over near that. That is something I like. So I think we should definitely go and get a city up there on the coast somewhere. Let's keep looking around, though. We have found Hong Kong. They've already taken some damage here on a couple of units, so it looks like they might have cleared out a barbarian camp for us. We've also got spices up here. This could be an excellent tile. Not too sure whether the barrier reef is passable, whether you can move boats through it. Mind you, that if we were on this tile, we could get boats out into there. So that is potentially going to be a location for my second city. And if I was actually in the box where I was trying to type, that would work even better. So yeah, I think that's a good city spot there. It would be in range of the fish as well. Excellent. What is your send a trade route? And you're close enough to do that. Well, that worked out nicely. We've got our scout coming along. And our borders have grown to the bananas. Our population has already grown. So let's go and have a look. You'll also see now that they've added the turns until border growth. So you can see where your border's going to grow to and how long it's going to take. 3 food and 1 production. That is an excellent tile to work. Cannot complain about that. I think we do need to get out at least 1 slinger. And then we'll probably go settler, monument, or monument settler. Haven't made up my mind about that yet. Let's keep looking around, though. See what else we can find. The downside of having a city up here, of course, is it will not have fresh water. But we'll deal with that when we come to it. We'll go and have a look around with our scout. He's probably going to go off to the south. See what we can find. It's almost worth having 2 scouts in this. So we've got mining now. I think we should also go into animal husbandry. You'll also notice now on the tech list, they've added the advisor with which techs they recommend. So let's keep looking around here. Now, I don't think that the city-states pick up goody huts, so it's quite possible there might still be some around. So we are actually quite close to the coast. It looks like we are on a little island here, actually. Which is good, because if we are, then we don't need to rush a settler. Right, we've got a barbarian scout over here. We're 4 turns away from getting the slinger. Let's keep looking around. Let's go up and get on to that hill if we can. We might not be on an island, of course. We do need to have a good look around just to be certain. We found another goody hut. Fantastic. So let's start moving you down here. I just want to try and confirm if we are on an isolated island. Because if we are, then we don't have to rush our settlers. But we still want to get our second city out as quickly as possible. And let's get you onto the goody hut. We've gained a recon unit. That's actually quite nice. I was hoping that we would. Might send you down in this direction. So we'll keep looking around. We'll be bringing that warrior back soon, because I don't want to accidentally lose him with all of the barbarians around. Looks like we've got some wheat down here, next to a river as well. So there's a potential city location down there. Again, bits of marsh. We found Zanzibar. You want us to recruit a great writer. Well, I am supposed to be going for a cultural victory in this game, so that will happen sooner or later. Okay, so it looks like we're definitely on the edge of the map here. It's a potential spot for a city. Again, we are lacking fresh water a little bit in these areas. Now, there is a city-state that will give you... There's Code of Laws. There is a city-state that will actually give you, if you are their suzerain, it's like every one of your cities is next to fresh water, even when they're not. So we're in combat strength when fighting barbarians, and we'll go for the faith. We'll try and get a pantheon out as quickly as we can. We need to choose a new civic. Well, we haven't done either of these yet. I don't know if we're going to discover a second continent all that quickly. But we've got to pick one of these. We would like to get a builder out pretty soon. Let's work on foreign trade, because we'll probably get a builder out quite quickly. And I'd also like a trade route to complete this mission with Hong Kong if we can. So, do we want to get our settler out right the way? Part of me is thinking yes. Part of me is thinking get a builder instead. So I think we'll get a builder out first and improve this city. Then after we get the builder, we'll move on to the settler. Let's keep looking around. And some more cotton up here. And we know there's going to be a barbarian camp around here somewhere. And our slinger is just going to stay in the city for now. One thing that you will find about Civilization 6, and I'm sure if you've played it, you'll already know this, but if you haven't played it, this is certainly something that you will come to expect. The thing with Civilization 6, especially on the harder difficulty levels, is the game is very often decided in the first handful of turns, and by the first handful I'm talking maybe 30 to 50 turns. If you get a particularly bad start, and start next to lots of barbarians or a particularly aggressive neighbour, it can really screw the game up for you. However, if you start on a relatively isolated island, it does make things a lot easier. What do we want to go for? Do we want to try and get that holy site? And I'm not going to try and rush Stonehenge. We're not going to play a religious game, but it would be nice to get a religion. I think we'll go for pottery, just so that we can get the granary. We will need the extra housing over in this city, so that's probably worthwhile. So what I might do now is actually send you up to the north and start to come back with this warrior. And we might soon find that these scouts become very redundant. Now, that barbarian scout is heading towards my city, but I'm not particularly worried. I think we could fight off a potential barbarian attack. I just want to have a sort of quick mosey on up here, but we'll do the rest of the exploration with the scout, I suppose. Makes far more sense to bring the warrior home. And we found another goody hut. We've landed right next to it as well, so that is fantastic. So let's go and pick that up. We get ourselves 40 gold. Always nice. Let's keep going down here. It looks like this might be the bottom of the map. Again, could be a good place to settle a city, though. We've got at least 3 wheat down here. There is some mountains. There's fresh water. So that's not too bad. Yeah, you've not found anything particularly interesting, but let's keep moving over there. I'm going to have a little look up in this direction. How long have we got now before we get that builder? 5 turns. Borders have now grown. We've almost got the cotton as well. So, yeah, let's just bring you home, I think. And we'll have a look up here. Looks like that might be the edge of the map. So it looks like we are on an isolated island. So we don't... Well, we're still not confirmed. There might be other civilizations over in this direction. Barbarians approach. Yeah, well, we knew you were heading close. We can move out here and hit you, though, with the slinger. Now, what you probably will notice, he's going to back off now anyway. But let's just move everybody else. You need to come home. Because if he goes back to his camp, we will start to see barbarians. Unit needs orders. You can keep looking around. Oh, well, looks like it's a little tiny island. We might be able to get a caravel out and hop around. We probably want to go for sailing quite early and just get a caravel out. We are going to get a coastal city, though, so we'll wait until we get the bonus. So let's start bringing you home. You can go up in that direction. Now, you can't actually see that barbarian because he's ran away, but what you will notice with barbarian scouts now is they get a little exclamation mark above their head to alert you that they know where your city is. Yep, there he is. You see, he's got that little exclamation mark above his head, so he knows where the city is. So we're going to go back out here with the slinger and hit him again. Won't be enough to kill him, but he'll back off. So we have our builder. Let's go ahead and get the pasture first. We're up to 3 populations, so let's see what tiles we're working. Well, let's work this one for now. We will grow again in 3 turns. But we probably want to improve the truffles and the banana. Well, we need irrigation for the bananas. But we'll want to get the rocks or the stone as well. So we could get archery. Archery is not a bad idea, actually. It's only 30 gold to upgrade to an archer from a slinger. And they are much better because they have a larger range. So, we're not at the housing cap yet. Let's go for that monument so we get a little bit of extra growth going. Then we'll get our settler out. As I said, we don't really need to rush the settler because it doesn't look like we've got anybody else over here to worry about. This is potentially a nice spot to settle. Again, we've got some rice on a marsh. There's some deer. There's some spices. Hong Kong may end up grabbing those, though. The chances are, of course, that we're going to become the suzerain of these guys, especially if we are on an isolated island, which means that we will be able to grab their resources from them anyway, so we don't need to worry too much about settling a city just to grab resources. And it is looking more and more like we are on an island. Now, is this desert? It is. And I want desert for a very specific reason. And that is the pyramids. Without hills, though. That tile would be too far away. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Bugger. So where would I have to settle? Settle on the cliffs there. 1, 2, 3. Would still be within range of the... 1, 2, 3. Would still be within range of the stone. Would still be within range of the Great Barrier Reef. We'd be out of range of the fish, but we would be within range of a desert tile. Unless we go sort of not coastal, which is the other option. But we want to be close enough to get the barrier reef. If we go somewhere like here, we'd be too far away from the reef. I think we need to actually go on that hill. Now, it is desert, which is a bit crappy, but I want to be able to build the pyramids. Very important. Well, it's not very important, but it's really nice. Because the great thing about China, as I said earlier, they get an extra charge on their builders. So imagine now, if you will, the ability to have 2 extra charges on your builders by default. That's kind of what we want to head towards. So I'll try and get down here with this warrior, because we will start seeing barbarians now. Let's keep having a look around. We found some more spices. There's probably going to be another goody hut around here somewhere. And I don't mind an isolated start too much. Like I said, if I'm playing a passive game, it means we don't need to build up a massive army. All we need to be able to do is deal with the barbarians. And there's barbarians up there. Got some silk. Hearing some units moving around up here. Yeah, the barbarians actually come closer again. He hasn't actually gone and told his buddies where we are. He did back off, though. That's unfortunate. Now my slinger can't get at him, which is a shame. The city has grown in size. You are now working that tile. I don't think I'm going to manually assign that tile. We'll just leave it for you to sort out. And we'll start moving down here. We might be able to block you off. You are going to improve the truffles. That gives us an extra gold. It's making some decent money right now. And then we'll probably go and get the 2 lots of stone. So let's keep exploring around with you. There's got to be some more goody huts around somewhere. I really think that scouts feel so useless now with the new movement rules. It'd be nice if we could get an upgrade, a promotion on one of these scouts, and then we'd actually be able to let them get through trees a little bit more quickly. So let's go and mine this one. There we go. Now we've got the boost to craftsmanship, which is the one that we weren't working on. Also gives us a boost to masonry. So yeah, you've run into a couple of barbarian scouts. We don't know where the camp is yet. I'm half tempted just to let the city-state deal with you. And yet this is looking more and more like an island, unless there's any way off down here, which I don't think there is, or there's any way off up the top there, then this is an island, which will be fantastic. We'll do one more turn, and then we'll have to move on. There's archery done. Fantastic. So I'd like you to carry on moving down here. That scout's going to be a pain, but that's fine. We could get irrigation. We'll wait for sailing until we found a city on the coast, which we are about to do. We should probably go and get astrology done, because it's nice and quick. Continue moving around with you. We found some barbarians up there. Wonder where you belong to. Did you stop on the tile next to us, you idiot? Well, that's you dead. Don't know where that camp is, though. We never did find the camp. We'll probably have to go back down there with the scout to have a look for it. And you're going to hop over the river and grab that on the next turn, which will be on the next video. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are going to enjoy this series of Civilization 6. Once again, a very big thank you to my Patreon supporter, William Luke, for sponsoring this video. I really couldn't continue this channel without the generosity and support of you guys, so thank you very, very much for that. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, goodbye for now.